Have you ever thought about growing organic food but live in a cold region where winter is harsh and snow covers the ground for months? Is it really possible to produce efficiently in this type of climate? The good news is that yes, it is possible. And in this video, I will show you how to plan your organic production in a temperate climate with snow, from choosing the space and crops to using greenhouses, crop rotation, and soil protection. But first, answer me this. Do you know what the biggest mistake most farmers make when trying to grow in cold regions is? This mistake can compromise the entire production, and many people only realize it too late. At the end of the video, I will reveal what this mistake is and how to avoid it. So, stay with me until the end to ensure that your cultivation is productive and sustainable even in winter. Now let's get straight to the content. The foundation for the success of organic farming in temperate climates with snow lies in a deep understanding of the production environment. Before any planting, the farmer must understand the characteristics of the location, including climate, native vegetation, precipitation, soil quality, available sunlight hours throughout the year, and the direction of cold winds. These factors determine crop selection, planting planning, and management strategies to protect plants from adverse conditions. The first step is to understand the region's climate pattern, identifying the duration and intensity of the seasons. In temperate climates, harsh winters and snow present challenges such as soil freezing, late spring frosts, and a shortened growing season. Knowing the length of winter, the average minimum temperature, the months when the most severe frosts occur, the average frost-free period, the relative humidity, and the average precipitation in different seasons are key pieces of information. These can be obtained through local weather records and climate stations, helping the farmer determine which crops are most viable and when they should be planted. Another important aspect to observe is the native vegetation of the region, which provides valuable clues about soil fertility and conditions. Species that thrive in the area can indicate whether the soil is more acidic, alkaline, moist, or dry. Additionally, the presence of certain spontaneous plants can reveal the depth of the water table and the soil's moisture retention capacity. In temperate regions, another essential factor in this initial observation is the duration of sunlight, which can vary significantly between seasons. During winter, the days are shorter, potentially affecting plant growth. It is crucial to map the available sunlight hours throughout the year and identify which areas of the property receive the most direct sunlight at different times. This analysis will help position crops more effectively, ensuring that species requiring more sunlight are cultivated in strategic areas to maximize productivity. Another determining factor is the analysis of prevailing winter winds. In snowy regions, cold winds can intensify the perceived temperature, increase heat loss from the soil, and cause mechanical damage to plants. Identifying the predominant direction of cold winds allows for the planning of natural and artificial barriers to minimize their impact. Understanding the space where cultivation is planned is the first and most important step for successful organic farming in a temperate climate with snow. A detailed study of climate, vegetation, sunlight hours, and cold winds enables the farmer to make strategic decisions about crop planning, species selection, and protective measures to minimize the negative impacts of a harsh winter. This knowledge allows for more efficient and productive management, ensuring a resilient and sustainable agricultural system. After understanding the environmental conditions of the site, the next step is to strategically plan the crops to optimize land use, maximize productivity, and ensure a continuous production flow throughout the year. In temperate climates with snow, the growing period is shorter due to the harsh winter, requiring detailed planning to make the most of the available climatic windows. The first step, then, is selecting crops adapted to the temperate climate. The choice of crops should consider factors such as cold resistance, growth time, and sunlight requirements. In temperate climates, the seasons determine which species can be grown and at what times. Typical crops by season. In spring, spinach, lettuce, radish, peas, onions, and leeks. In summer, tomatoes, bell peppers, zucchini, corn, beans, and melons. In autumn, kale, broccoli, carrots, beets, and garlic. In winter, in regions with heavy snow, the soil can be kept covered with cover crops, or hardy species can be grown in greenhouses and low tunnels. Additionally, the choice of crops should consider their ability to withstand late frosts and their thermal requirements, prioritizing hardy species or short-cycle crops during seasonal transitions. To ensure maximum production efficiency, the farmer should organize an agricultural calendar, distributing planting and harvesting throughout the year. An example of a planting calendar could follow this logic. From January to February, crop planting, purchasing seeds and supplies, preparing greenhouses. From March to April, start germinating protected seedlings and planting cold-resistant species. From May to June, main planting of spring-summer crops and management of early harvests. From July to August, harvest summer crops and plant autumn species. From September to October, final harvests and planting cover crops to prepare the soil for winter. From November to December, soil resting or greenhouse cultivation, depending on the available infrastructure. This planning allows the farmer to make the most of each period of the year without wasting time or resources, ensuring continuous and diversified harvests. Beyond climatic feasibility, the farmer must consider market demand to ensure production remains profitable. Some essential questions include: what products are most valued in the region? Is there demand for organic vegetables during the winter in protected cultivation? When is the peak demand for certain foods? If the region has a strong market for fresh produce even in winter, investing in greenhouses may be advantageous to maintain production. If there is high demand for storage vegetables, such as potatoes and onions, it is worth dedicating part of the production to these crops. Crop planning and organizing an efficient agricultural calendar are fundamental for the success of organic farming in a temperate climate with snow. Choosing adapted crops, properly distributing planting throughout the year, and considering market demand are strategies that ensure greater productivity and sustainability in the system. With the chosen crops and well-structured planting calendar, it is essential to plan the necessary infrastructure to ensure efficient and resilient cultivation. In temperate climates with snow, infrastructure plays a crucial role in protecting plants from extreme weather conditions, allowing for more stable production throughout the year. Installing protective structures, such as greenhouses and low tunnels, enables the farmer to extend the growing period, providing more favorable conditions for plants even during cold seasons. To optimize land use, it is essential to define where each crop will be planted. Space planning should consider factors such as sunlight exposure, the need for protection against cold winds, and proximity to irrigation sources. Irrigation must be well planned to meet plant demands without wasting water, especially during dry summers or in protected greenhouses during winter. The recommended irrigation systems are drip irrigation, which saves water and directs moisture directly to the roots of plants, making it ideal for protected and open field cultivation, and microsprinkler irrigation, which is recommended for leafy vegetables and seedling nurseries, as it simulates rainfall and distributes water evenly. It is also essential to consider rainwater harvesting and storage to ensure a sustainable water supply throughout the year. Additionally, the farmer must assess whether the soil has good drainage, as areas with melted snow can suffer from excessive waterlogging, which can hinder plant development. Another type of infrastructure that the farmer should evaluate for implementation is the installation of living fences and windbreaks for crop protection. Cold wind is one of the biggest challenges for cultivation in temperate regions with snow, as it lowers soil temperature, increases moisture loss, and can damage young plants. Installing natural barriers, such as living fences and windbreaks, is an effective strategy to minimize these impacts. Infrastructure planning is essential to ensure productive organic farming in a temperate climate with snow. The use of greenhouses, efficient irrigation, smart crop distribution, and the installation of living fences are fundamental measures to protect plants and maximize productivity throughout the seasons. With crop planning, infrastructure definition, and space organization completed, The next step is to ensure that all necessary inputs are available at the right time. In temperate climates where it snows, purchasing seeds, seedlings, organic fertilizers, and equipment in advance is essential to avoid delays at the start of planting and to ensure the production cycle runs smoothly. The selection of seeds and seedlings should be based on the region's climatic conditions and the length of the growing season. In areas with harsh winters, it is important to choose cold-resistant and short-cycle varieties to make the most of the frost-free period. Preference should be given to organic seeds adapted to the region, as local varieties tend to have greater resistance to environmental conditions. Seeds should be ordered in advance, especially for winter and spring crops, as availability may be limited. They should also be stored properly, protecting them from moisture and sudden temperature changes. For perennial and fruit crops, seedlings should be ordered from specialized nurseries to ensure healthy plants adapted to the climate of the region. Inputs for soil preparation and fertilization can also be ordered and acquired in advance. The soil needs to be well prepared to ensure healthy plant development. Since harsh winters can reduce biological activity in the soil, the use of organic fertilization and cover crops helps maintain fertility. The recommended organic fertilizers are organic compost, well-aged manure, rock dust, and liquid biofertilizers. The purchase of seeds for cover crops and green manure should also be planned in advance. The planting of cover crops in the fall, such as rye and vetch, improves soil fertility for the following spring. The use of straw mulch and crop residues helps protect the soil from drying out and temperature fluctuations. Greenhouse and tunnel equipment, as well as irrigation systems, are items that can also be acquired in advance to ensure continuous production. Besides the essential inputs for planting, it is important to ensure that all tools and equipment necessary for crop management are available. The early acquisition of inputs is fundamental for the success of organic farming in a temperate climate with snow. Seeds, seedlings, fertilizers, irrigation equipment, and protective structures should be purchased according to crop planning and the available infrastructure, ensuring that the system runs without interruptions and with maximum efficiency. After proper planning, species selection, and input acquisition, it is possible to start seedling production in protected environments. Since the field growing period is reduced due to the harsh winter, anticipating germination in controlled environments allows plants to be transplanted as soon as climatic conditions become favorable, optimizing time and productivity. The choice of the environment where seedlings will be started depends on the available infrastructure and the desired production volume. Seedling production can even be carried out indoors, such as in home greenhouses or sunny windows. The quality of the substrate directly influences seedling vigor. Since outdoor soil may be frozen and unsuitable for direct use, a light, aerated, and nutrient-rich substrate should be used. It is best to avoid using common field soil, as it may contain pathogens, weed seeds, or be compacted. After sowing, seedlings need ideal conditions for healthy growth. They require daily exposure to at least 6 to 8 hours of direct light or supplementation with full-spectrum lamps. Temperature should be monitored according to the requirements of each crop. The substrate should remain constantly moist, but not waterlogged. The area should also be well ventilated to prevent fungal development and to strengthen seedling stems. Before taking the seedlings to the open field or unheated greenhouses, it is essential to subject them to a process called acclimatization. This procedure reduces thermal shock and increases plant resistance. This process consists of gradually exposing the seedlings to external conditions about 7 to 10 days before transplanting. Start by leaving them outdoors for 2 to 3 hours, protected from direct wind. Gradually increase the exposure time and reduce the frequency of irrigation to strengthen the stems. By the end of the process, the seedlings should remain outdoors all day, enduring slight climatic variations before being permanently planted. Starting seedlings in protected environments is an essential strategy for successful organic farming in temperate climates with snow. In addition to ensuring that plants are ready to be transplanted at the ideal time, This technique improves germination rates, reduces losses, and optimizes the available growing time. Now I'm going to give you a practical example of crops for regions with a temperate climate and snow. Grab a pencil and paper for notes. Considering short-cycle annual species, we have the following. In spring, fast-growing crops can be grown for harvest before summer, including short-cycle vegetables such as spinach, lettuce, radish, arugula, and peas. Cold-resistant roots and bulbs, such as onions, leeks, and early carrots, can also be cultivated. In summer, crops that require higher temperatures for maturation can be grown, including solanaceous crops such as tomatoes, bell peppers, and eggplants, cucurbits such as zucchini, melon, and cucumber, and grains and legumes such as sweet corn, green beans, and sunflowers. In autumn, cold-tolerant crops and late-harvest species can be cultivated, including brassicas such as kale, broccoli, cabbage, and turnips, root and tuber crops such as beets, winter carrots, and winter radishes, and cold-resistant leafy greens such as winter spinach, Swiss chard, and mustard greens. To maximize space use, crops can be staggered in successive plantings, ensuring continuous harvests throughout the growing season. Now regarding long-cycle annual crops, for farmers who wish to prioritize longer duration crops, it is essential to choose species that can be planted and harvested within the season without the risk of frost harming their development. In spring, potatoes, carrots, peas, and onions can be planted. In summer, tomatoes, eggplants, melons, and sweet corn will grow and develop. Dry beans, such as red beans, black beans, and white beans, can also be cultivated. In autumn, the final harvests and winter preparation can take place, with the planting of green manure species to cover the soil during winter. For this cover crop planting, grass species such as winter rye, winter oats, and winter wheat can be used. Some legumes can also be planted, such as hairy vetch, red clover, and blue lupin. Crucifers can also be included, such as forage turnip and white mustard. Combining grasses, legumes, and crucifers provides complementary benefits, maximizing soil protection and fertility. For example, using rye with hairy vetch has the advantage that rye protects against erosion while vetch adds nitrogen to the soil, making it ideal for regions with harsh winters. The combination of oats with red clover is highly effective for slightly compacted soils, providing good protection and fertility. Meanwhile, the combination of forage turnip with rye is excellent for areas needing decompaction and dense winter coverage. The benefits of using cover crops are numerous, including protection against erosion, improved fertility, and soil conditioning, meaning that some species decompact deep soil layers, improving drainage and moisture retention. Another benefit is weed control, reducing the presence of unwanted spontaneous plants. Therefore, planning organic cultivation in snowy locations involves carefully studying the area, selecting the right species to be planted, acquiring the necessary inputs, tools, and equipment, executing proper planting, caring for the crops, and ensuring a bountiful harvest. Afterward, performing good cover cropping for the next year's planting seasons is essential. Now that you know how to plan your organic farming in a temperate climate with snow, it's time to avoid the mistake that can compromise your entire production. And that mistake is not planning in advance. Many farmers realize too late that they didn't prepare the soil in autumn, didn't start their seedlings at the right time, or didn't consider protecting their plants from cold winds. And when intervention is needed, it's already too late. But now you know exactly what to do to avoid this problem and achieve successful organic production, even in cold regions. If you want to keep learning about organic farming and techniques to produce more sustainably, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss upcoming videos. And let me know in the comments, which of these challenges is the biggest for you? The intense cold, crop planning, or choosing the right species? I want to know so I can bring more content to help you overcome these difficulties. Up next, I'll leave a video about the principles of organic agriculture so that other important concepts become clearer, helping you achieve excellent production. See you in the next video. See you soon. Let's move towards a bountiful earth.